how the area is managed. And that's very important. To go to a beach, and I've been to places with, well, I have to say, Loomis Park and Miami Beach, until recently, those bathrooms, you had to hold your nose to go in, right? It was terrible. So, how do you manage the area? That becomes very important to the public. Is there ample parking? And here, of course, you've done some things where this is such a popular beach that you now have a free ferry getting people here through bus. So that's really good. So having said all that, that's the 50 criteria altogether. So it says, oh my gosh, 50 things to talk about a beach, how's that possible? Well, it certainly is. And then I scored them. 1 low level, 5 the best. And so a perfect beach would have a score of 250. Well, I have to tell you, I've never found a perfect beach, but I've found a lot of great ones. And we're here at one of the great ones, aren't we? Okay? Yeah. So I probably shouldn't take too much more time. Being a professor, I can go on forever. But let me give you the rundown on the top 10 beaches. How's that? Okay. We're going to start at number 10. All right? We're going to see where you come in this level. Number 10, Beach Walker Park. Now, you may not have heard of Beach Walker Park, but it's in the Charleston area on the southern tip of Keel Island. It's a special area. If you ever look at Google Earth, you'll see that it's a long sand spit. No one lives there now, and thousands of birds, places you could put your canoe, and the sand is so packed you could ride your bicycle on the beach. The only thing is the water's a bit murky, so I have to take off of that. But it's a beautiful area in the Charleston area, Beach Walker Park, although I am worried that there is plans to develop part of that spit, and that's for the public beach. You'd have to go by residential properties who want to build seawalls. You know what happens when you build seawalls, right? The beach erodes a bit, you don't have a beach, so I put it down at number 10, they're kind of on the watch list, If things go wrong, then we'll make it up the list of the off the list. But Beach Walker Park. Number 9, one of my great beaches on the coast of Southern California, Coronado Beach, San Diego. It does have that Mediterranean weather, that is the top weather, so we have to admit that. Those people who go to Southern California, fortunately they're out of the drought, by the way. I've been in Los Angeles, that area quite recently, and fortunately the drought has been broken, and they had to pay for a lot of mudslides and rain this past winter. But Coronado Beach, you get out there, the Dell Hotel, it's been the host to sheiks, presidents, kings, actresses and actors. It is a phenomenal place. So if you ever get out to California, I certainly recommend Coronado as number 9. Number 8 is Hapuna Beach on the Big Island of Hawaii. I don't know if anybody's been to the Big Island, but as you come to the airport and drive around Hapuna, all you see is black lava. You think, oh my gosh, there's nothing living here. Everything is black. And then you get to this lily white coral sand beach, which is really idyllic. It's a beautiful beach, it's a state park. They do have full facilities, lifeguards, thank goodness, because in the summer, the waves are pretty mild, a little bit bigger than this, but in the winter, they get some really big breakers. And you have to be very careful there. People don't realize that the energy of a wave is proportional to the wave height squared. So as the wave gets a little bigger, the energy is a lot more. And so they have big waves, so it's a dangerous beach in the winter, but you have to know how to negotiate. Fortunately, they have great lifeguards there. Number 7 is a Florida beach. Is it your beach? Okay, no. It's Tallahassee Island, not too far away. You know where that is? Just north of Clearwater. It's a great little trip over there. You go to Honeymoon Island and take a little boats over, and these captains tell you a lot of the sea stories, and oftentimes you'll see dolphins on the way over. So Tallahassee Island, again, is a super place to visit. It's sort of like getting away from it all. They do have a snack bar and some amenities, but you really are away from everything else if you want to take a day trip. Number 6 is Coast Guard Beach on Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Coast Guard Beach is a beach I spent many years. I lived on Cape Cod, many years working there. It has its name for the beautiful white Coast Guard station up on the glacial bluff. This is where the glacial cliffs meet the salt marshes and fantastic area. It was first mapped in 1605 by the explorer Champlain. We have maps, go back, accurate maps, did a great job mapping this area. Unfortunately, encountered the Nauset Indians and had a little bit of a mix-up there. But at one time, and they still produce a lot of lobsters in this area, the ones with the falls, right? And at one time, you could go out there in the tidal creeks and catch lobsters by hand. Can you imagine that? Can't do that anymore, but in fact, lobsters were so common on Cape Cod, and they had indentured servants and slaves, which were all colors. People would be slaves, we need color at that time. And they fed the lobsters all the time because it's the cheapest meat available. So the Commonwealth of Massachusetts passed a law that said you could not force people to eat lobster more than twice a week. And that law is still in the books, and they never changed it. So if you ever go to Massachusetts, and they people try to feed you lobster more than twice a week, somebody has broken the law. Okay, so keep that in mind, little travel tip there, right? Well, that's Coast Guard Beach. My only concern there is the seals are back, seals are good, but guess what? They got so many seals, it hasn't come to Coast Guard Beach yet, but Monroe Island to the south is populated with seals, and now the great white sharks are coming in for feasting. So they actually fly not even the red flag, they fly a flag with a shark on it now. A red flag with a shark is sort of like, wow. So far, so good. The seals are staying away. I'm not sure what they're doing to keep the seals away. The seals are playing farther south, and the sharks, of course, are watching them. So far, so good. But again, there's always concerns. People ask me, oh, your list comes out, it should be the same every year. And in fact, no, it isn't. Things do change. Okay, number 5, Cooper's Beach. You know where that is? It's in the Hamptons, Southampton. You ever get up to the Hamptons? Well, I wouldn't suggest in summertime. Very expensive. All right, just to be honest with you. I spent a lot of time in the Hamptons. I was sort of for about 13 years. There's an association up there that brought me in. They started their beach guru or whatever. And I wrote a lot of articles and things, little pamphlets within all their newspapers about the beach and how to deal with rip currents, how to deal with other things. So I've spent a lot of time. Went to a lot of Hamptons cocktail parties. I don't know how they do it. The person I knew was, they were quite rich. I went to one party and I knew 3 billionaires there. And I told my wife, we're the only ones here that aren't multi-millionaires. And there were 250 people at my friend's party at his house. 250 people. So you can see what I'm talking about. So this is a nice place. I'd say if you want to go there, after Labor Day for sure. Because you're going to beat the people, and that's when the water's the warmest. Because they don't have the warm water here. It does get warm, gets to the 70s, but the very, very small seas up there need any real warm water to speak of. But the Hamptons, beautiful area, Cooper's Beach. You go there, you might actually see some movie stars. If you've ever seen Billy Joel there once with his wife, and they were picking up litter on the beach and couldn't imagine that. So I take my hat off to people like that who care that much about their beach, to be themselves very famous and pick up litter. So that's the Hamptons. Number 4 is another Florida beach. Oh, maybe that's you. Well, it's another great beach. In fact, this is former Governor Bob Graham. I used to work with Bob Graham a bit, former governor. His favorite beach, Rayton Beach in the Florida Panhandle. It's a state park. It's a wonderful area. It has camping. There are, of course, hotels nearby. But Rayton Beach, superb area. There's fishing there. There's also ponds, big sand dunes. It's a camping type place, but it's again phenomenal sand. They say their sand is as good as yours. I don't know. You're gonna have to have another sand contest one day. But so far you hold the title in that one. So that's another Florida beach. That makes 2 Florida beaches. Number 3 beach is in North Carolina on the Outer Banks. And this is Blackbeard's old stomping grounds. You might know what it is. Overcook Island. Blackbeard, this is where he came in, and apparently he married 3 or 4 different women. Usually they're about 13 years old. I'm not sure they really wanted to get married to him, but at that time, things were, when he came in, everybody sort of bowed down, or else you lost your head. But anyway, so Blackbeard Stomping Grounds, and you've been there, you get there by car ferry. I don't know how North Carolina does it. It's still a free car ferry down Overcook. But you get there, don't plan to play golf. Don't think you're going to get great hotels. Everything's small, mom-and-pop operations. They have one beach called Lifeguard Beach. So the thing that brought them up is they now have, of course, great facilities, but also no smoking. they did that. I know you tried that here some time ago, and I wish you could get it back, because I am giving extra credit now for no smoking and enhanced beach safety. So that's changed the order as it was for the first 25 years when I did this. All right, so Overcook Lifeguard Beach on the Outer Banks, North Carolina, is a very, very special area. If you get a chance, go there. But if you got families, I'd go there early, in May, June, before August and September, because they do get good waves there if the hurricanes are in the Atlantic. Number 2, we're getting close. Okay, this is a fantastic beach. In fact, a lot of travel magazines rate Maui as the best island in the world for tourism. And my favorite beach there, one of the great ones, is Kapalua Bay Beach. Oh, Maui. And Maui is a wonderful place. There's no question about it. So that's the number 2 beach this year. And if you've ever been there, the thing I take away from them is they have limited parking. And no way to get there other than by car. So it's really on an old pineapple plantation, the Kapalua pineapple plantation. But if you go there, somebody asked me, says, you know, your top 10 beaches should all be in Hawaii, every one of them. I have people tell me that, and they mean it. But why not? Yes, it's a beautiful place. Tropical vegetation, the mountains meet the sea, but actually, a lot of beaches are very dangerous. They get very big waves, they get something called sleeper waves, they can sneak up on you, and it's just sort of like one big wave comes out of nowhere. You really got to know what you're doing there. As the native Hawaiians say, never turn your back on the sea if you're in Hawaii. The waves can change just like that. The other thing is powerful rip currents, shore breaks. Their beaches can be very steep. You'll never see that here. They have steep beaches where the waves break and pick you up and drive you head first to plunging breakers right at the beach, and that's when you don't come back. And you get neck broken or worse. So, at any rate, I was talking to somebody before, and they said, my goodness, we beat Maui. And that's so the number 1 beach. I guess it's no question. Siesta Beach. And well deserved. Look at what's done here. I mean, I remember coming here, I've been coming here for 25, 30 years. I guess like 30 years. And, you know, you still got a beautiful beach. But you've also really added a lot to it. I remember coming here just a couple of years ago, the parking, none of this was here, the parking was smaller. And I must say, as you heard earlier, you've done a great job in maintaining the beach and the dunes, the natural environment, but also adding the amenities that people want. So my ratings, some people say, well, there's too much buildings around. I said, well, I try to balance nature, the natural environment with the built environment. It's a balance. I can tell you about CC Beach up in the state of Washington, Olympic National Park. Fantastic. But you got to walk in 10 miles to get there. And you better bring everything with you, because it can be sunny like this, and 30 minutes later it's raining. And okay, it's a great place, but how many people are going to walk in 10 miles to get to the beach with no amenities? That's a limited group, right? So again, I once did wilderness beaches. If you're interested in that, I can tell you about those. I'm into those. But they're an adventure, that's for sure. I even ran into a bear over there one time. So, if you get 10 feet from a bear, you kind of look at it, he looks at you, I'm kind of backing off real slow, But no bears here. But what a beautiful beach. And the thing about it, I don't need to tell you about it. This beach out here with the sand, I've seen, to me, it looks like the best sand in the world. And one of the contests years ago that said that, and certainly, it's quartz crystal. Everybody realizes, a lot of people think it's coral sand. It's actually not coral sand. It is ground down to what we call terminal size. It's all about the same size, and it's all the same mineralogy. It's quartz crystal. It's a very special beach. You don't find this in many places in the world. And when the beach is dry, which it isn't now, you walk out there. By the way, I think it's almost like a sin to walk out there with shoes on. You know what I mean? If you can't feel that sand, cushy sand on your feet, you're missing a lot to experience. And you kick it up, and I like to rub my feet on the sand, and what do you hear? Someone says it's squeaky clean, right? It makes a squeaking noise when it's dry, right? Well, it is clean. It's clean, beautiful beach, but that's because it's all the same size, mineralogy, and you're reaching the resonance frequency of those sand grains. just like the opera singer, some women can hit that note and break the glass because the glass is vibrating more than usual. That's called a resonance frequency. Not many people can do that. But some people can, and that's what you're doing at the Sand Range. That's a special beach. There are a few beaches around us in the world, not many. So with that, maybe I've said enough, and maybe I'll take some questions. Thank you very much.